Welcome to another video. This one is about how to open your third eye. I know everyone wants to open their third eye nowadays, but there's really not a lot of information about how to actually do it. So much so that some of my followers have asked me to make a video about it, and you have them to thank for it. So in this video, I'll start first of all by covering the two facets of spiritual sight. Then I will tell you the number one factor of success in this case, and also I will give you some of the habits that I have put in place which actually help me to achieve it. So let's get straight into it. But before we do that, I want you to tell me what you think is the number one factor of success in this case. Please leave me your answer in the comment section. I'm excited to hear it. Now, I remember years ago, before ever being interested in magic, that I wanted to open my third eye. I started researching the topic, reading so many things and watching many videos, and all I could find are people making all these wonderful promises that when you open your third eye, you'll be able to see this and that, and you'll be able to do this and that and feel a certain way, and your life will be amazing and wonderful, and you'll see other dimensions. But of course, there's very little substance about how to actually do it. I mean, we all know the famous Om mantra, which actually works. There's no debate about that. But I would always, for some reason, get demotivated or quit. You know, life gets in the way, you get distracted, and it takes a long time to actually open your third eye just by chanting a mantra. And it's not like we all have nowadays, with, you know, the busy lifestyles that we're living, hours and hours to dedicate to that kind of practice and meditation. But it's not until I realized that there's kind of another dimension to opening the third eye, which is basically a physical dimension. I remember coming across a quote from Nikola Tesla. He says, and I quote, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." And that was really a light bulb moment for me, because when we think about the third eye, you know, we think about our eyes, of course, and we have this third eye right here, but it's not like we can grow bionic eyes which have infrared vision and we'll be able to see the spirits. There's nothing that we can do to actually change our physical organs. Not only that, I mean, some people are born with better eyesight. So it's not so much about changing our eyes, but it's actually about setting our hardware, as I like to call it, which is the first facet of spiritual sight, for optimal performance. So when I heard that quote about energy and vibration and frequency, as Nikola Tesla put it, it completely changed my perception. So this is the first thing that we have to do when we're looking to open a third eye, is that we have to make that mindset shift. So we have to stop thinking about our eyes as physical organs and start seeing them for what they really are, which is energy, frequency, and vibration, reception, and interpretation devices. Now, as I told you before, what we're looking to do is set up that hardware for optimal performance. Now, how do we do that? Simple. You are what you eat. And not only that, you are what you drink as well. Now, I'll explain what I mean by this statement, but before I do that, hit that like button and make sure to subscribe for more awesome content. So as I told you before, I was doing all these practices, but those practices were aimed at one facet of spiritual sight, which is actually the software. But this video is aimed at the hardware. And this is where many people slip up. They don't understand that there is a hardware part that we have to take care of. Now, what is the hardware? Of course, it's our body. Going back to you are what you eat. Now, and I said not only eat, but drink. Now, first things first, I'll tell you the truth is that most people out there are not drinking enough water. Our brain is made of 80% water. Our whole body is made of about that same percentage of water. And when you look at people today, what do they have in their hand? They have either a drink, they have some kind of soft drink, they have some kind of juice or coffee, and it seems like water is actually outdated. And I'll be honest, even me back in the day, I didn't drink enough water. When I look back at my life, I don't even know how I made it this far. And it's not just the bare minimum. Remember, we're trying to set up our hardware for optimal performance. So you have to up that water intake no matter what. And remember, this is not just about quantity, but it's also about quality. You can't just drink any water. Tap water, goes without saying, it's a big no-no. There's fluoride, which actually calcifies the pineal gland. So you're basically working against yourself here. And you also have to do some research, because many of these bottled water water companies are actually repackaging tap water. So personally, I'm very particular about the kind of water that I drink. I drink a specific brand. I'm very lucky. I live in a country where there's a lot of water, but I'm sure you can find some, but be prepared to spend a little bit more than the bare minimum for good quality water. There's really no way to compromise here. So that's the first habit. The second habit that I put in place is about my diet. So the diet plays a very important role because what we're trying to do is detoxifying the body of many heavy metals, many toxins that we have accumulated throughout our life. And I'm not going to go into that. I'm not a nutritionist, but we all know that modern processed food is not good for us. And I'll be honest, guys, I am just as normal as you. I love a burger and a steak as much as the next man. But of course, what I'm trying to tell you here is that you'll have to make a sacrifice, a commitment for a certain period of time until you get the results that you're looking for. Then you can be a little bit more lenient with yourself. Now, what is the quickest, easiest, well, I wouldn't say easiest, but the quickest and most efficient way to detoxify your body is through fasting. So I know it's not easy. It's easier for some people than others. So what you can do is you can do an intermittent fast, but you have to be careful also that when you break that fast, you're not eating things which are going to hinder your progress. Now, what kinds of foods that you should be eating? Simple. Veggies and fruits. I know it doesn't sound the most attractive, but I'm telling you, this is what helped me, and you don't have to do it for your whole life. Now, when I'm talking about veggies, you know that they're full of pesticides today, which are toxins and full of heavy metals. So if you live in a Western country like me, you're gonna have to go for organic food. And let me tell you a secret here, guys, that the supermarket companies don't want you to know. It's that it's not sufficient to just go into the organic aisle of your favorite supermarket and get organic food, because that food came into the same container in the same truck that the non-organic food, and there's cross-contamination. So if you're buying organic food from your local supermarket which sells non-organic food at the same time, well, you're basically throwing your money out the window. And I know that nowadays, if you want to go to a local, locally sourced, all that good stuff, organic supermarket, it's going to cost you a pretty penny. So I have discovered a trick, a hack, you could say. It was in a book somewhere, but I have double checked it with a nutritionist, so it works. So what you can do is you can take your veggies, soak them in water for 24 hours. You can't do that with all veggies, but things like broccoli, celery, you sure can. Leave them in water for 24 hours and then take them out before consumption. And you will see that water will become murky. So you can thank me later and your wallet will thank you as well. And when I'm talking about a vegetarian diet, you have to understand that the way we consume food nowadays, it's cooked very, very fast. And it has been demonstrated that it loses a significant amount of its nutritional value. So if you're looking to get the full benefits here and actually end up doing this process for a shorter period of time, I recommend going for raw vegetarian food all the time. And as I said, this will just skyrocket your progress when you're looking to open your third eye by combining these habits to whatever you're already doing. Now, the third and final habit that I urge you to consider is abstinence. I know it's a tough one, especially in this hypersexualized society, but I'm telling you, it is totally worth it if you're willing to make this sacrifice. Nikola Tesla, again, God rest his soul, I love that guy. He said that the secret of genius lies in celibacy. Now, I'm not telling you to make a vow of abstinence for your whole life, but what I'm saying is you should cut it down to a minimum. What that will do is that it will give your body more energy to start recycling it and start working on these new capabilities that you're looking to develop. So it's really about energy distribution. Think of it like that. If you are having continuous orgasms, you're basically wasting that energy. So again, it's a mindset shift that you have to make, and it goes to what I really want you to retain from this video. If you don't remember anything else, the key here is consistency. If you're not consistent, there's just no way that you'll be able to do it. And as I said before, when I was inconsistent, I wasn't getting results. It's only when I put these habits, which laid the foundation for me to be able to better work on my software, that all the efforts that I put in with the meditations and this and that, they started to yield better results. So it's actually just priming yourself for success instead of failure and discouragement. Now, if you're really interested in opening your third eye and effective spirit communication, you can click the link below to get my in-depth free PDF report. Yes, it's free. So it's my pleasure to help you with that. Now, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next